part, just before I get started, I want people to understand and keep an open mind.
Oh, you can be sure of that, buddy. This is Creationist of the Week, the show where we objectively criticize a creationist's arguments while fairly humiliating them for side entertainment. We are open to convincing arguments. We applaud and encourage them. But the question is, which one of us is going to understand more and keep the openest, the most open mind, would be correct? Well, we'll let my fabulous audience decide when this is all over, won't we? Before we continue, though, I'm going to introduce Mr. Fluoro here. His name is Eye2EyeIIIV, or 2, if I know my incorrect Roman numerals. And he's a creationist. And if we take a look at his back wall, it's very likely he's also a nutcase. His poster collection already indicates that he believes evolution is somehow related to Hitler, even though Hitler was a creationist. He self-projects his reliance on preconceived opinions onto evolutionists. He thinks atheism and the legged ichthus both need to be recycled, and that atomic nuclei might actually be crucifixes. So we can already see that he is indeed a colourful character, if anything. Now, in this video, he's going to try and criticise Bill Nye's performance in his debate earlier this year. So I'll let him go ahead and do that.
I freaking love Bill Nye. He made science look so fun, he had an entertaining program and all, but all that is pretty much in the 90s.
Bill Nye has only gotten better since his show aired. He was the least credible at that time. He was just a guy in a lab coat reading a script back then. Since then, he's become more and more vocal about issues involving science education and climate change and other sorts of stuff like that. And he's even participated in actual scientific research. Dismissing Bill Nye as just a washed-up hack who was cool in the 90s but is now a nobody is ridiculous. He's only got more relevant and more experienced. Why did you think he was even in the debate? Do you think Ken Ham is so desperate he would agree to a debate with any old Disney actor from the 90s? Well, he's not. Who am I kidding? Of course he fucking is.
In this debate, both didn't really seem to answer each other's questions, but I also think that Ken Ham wasn't given a fair amount of time to actually answer these supposed ad hominem attacks from Bill Nye of these supposed evidences for evolution.
Well, I'm sorry. The same amount of time Bill Nye got isn't enough for Ken Ham.
Which, bringing up these fallible assumptions, Hovind already addressed all of these like 10 years ago in his Age of the Earth seminar.
I just got through telling the last guy how bad Ken Hovind is. Hovind is a liar, he's a con artist, and there are refutations against him everywhere. Thunderfoot is for one, destroyed him over 5 years ago. Don't bring up Hovind, he's in prison for a reason.
I could be proving for days that his points from his seminar are in fact valid. Bill Nye kept bringing up the thing about the ice cores, the tree rings, the wooden ship, and the sedimentary layers. I mean, don't you think it's about time they updated their textbooks?
No, all of those things are still relevant and valuable to the science. Your refusal to comprehend why that isn't relevant or valuable to the science, which is why they are in the textbooks and not you. It's also worth pointing out that textbooks aren't as important as the actual scientific literature you should be addressing.
I mean, evolution has been proven wrong over 50 years ago.
No, it hasn't. If anything, the last 50 years have been the best for evolutionary theory yet.
Spontaneous generation proven wrong over 200 years ago by Louis Pasteur and Francesco Redi.
Spontaneous generation isn't relevant to evolutionary science at all. Evolution is a theory of biodiversity. Spontaneous generation is an incorrect explanation for where germs and pests come from. It doesn't even address the origin of life. You stupid motherfucker.
But it still remains in the textbooks, and that's what I have the problem with. Did you know that Clarence Darrow and Charles Darwin both said, it's best to hear both sides of the argument, otherwise the nation will just only be of one mind and one opinion, and people won't be able to learn for themselves. That's what Charles Darwin and Clarence Darrow said.
Why would you support that if Darwin was the big bad Nazi your posters say? Is that why creationists don't actually support fair debate? Is that the real reason?
Bill Nye seemed to be like, oh, the sky is falling, we gotta get more evolution into the schools or we're all gonna die. Oh, the world will be destroyed if we don't teach evolution. He somehow thinks that his religion of evolutionism is important to the scientific community, and it's not.
Is it supposed to be stupid?
It's not stupid. It's advanced.
Eye2Eye is tragically misunderstanding Bill Nye's beliefs that the US should prioritize proper science education in order to remain the superpower that it is, and that climate change is a real issue that we need to, focus on. Bill Nye has never said the world is ending or that the world ending has anything to do with evolution. I can see why even Eye2Eye thinks that this is funny. It's just that Bill Nye doesn't actually believe that. Not even close. Finally, evolution is not a religion. That's why most of the people that accept it are Christians.
And another thing, Bill Nye makes the remarks that if there's evidence for creation, then please show me. It will be embraced with open arms. No, I have to disagree. Through much unfair bias and discrimination, evidence for creation has been totally put off to the side and never been used, totally discriminated, totally hidden and totally denied and everything.
For the past year, I have been publicly presenting your proof and objectively criticizing it. And I'm not the only one. Christians have been presenting proof, yes. But it hasn't been ignored. It's been annihilated. And when it is ignored on occasion, it's just because we've seen the inevitable evisceration so many times. We're sick of cleaning up the viscera, if you will. It's not our fault your arguments suck. And it's not our fault your arguments never change. And worse, never improve.
See, evolution is not part of science, it's a religion, and they totally defend their worldview with religious fervor and zeal. If it was real science, it would be open to all observations, but they totally, willingly discredit any information that goes against their theory.
There is currently no factual information that is known to the scientific consensus that goes against evolution. I can say that with certainty. This is because the theory of evolution has been demonstrated and confirmed multiple times and in various ways to be accurate. And like any other scientific theory, it can adapt to information that previously may not have been compatible. That's how science works. But if there is, as you say, please present it to a researcher or become one yourself and publish it. We'd be happy to hear it. And I'd be happy to present it on next week's episode or wherever possible. Also, I will not continue responding to your false equivocations and self-projections. It's getting old.
He'd like to keep saying, oh, there are many religions out there. Well, so what? Most of these religions are completely unscientific, where the Bible is scientific.